Oh, oh, look, Borsty, come in.
Oh, hey, but we shouldn't be here.
Oh, but it's okay, Mr. Nathan and Brendan. They will not do classic movie from the old country.
Classic movie like the film made in Serbia?
Right? Yes, the Serbian film. They will
Oh.
not cover.
Oh, we should do that one.
Yes, and they will get a week off. They will get to relax. It is a joy for everyone. We get some radio play. They get the vacation.
And, in our country, movie is rated G, so whatever.
Yes, it's on like Sunday afternoon matinee.
Yes. So, let's begin with premise.
Yeah, please. There's men, yes?
Yeah, he is. Oh, he is porn star. Wait, I am Borshti.
Yes, this is Milos. Forgot they do. This is
What is title of show?
the title of the show is What We're Thinking. Yes,
Yes, what we are thinking.
right, correct.
Yes. Contractions are scary.
Right. So, Wolf, you said the man finds his son.
Yes, a very young son he finds.
Hey, what are you two doing in here? What?
Don't worry. We do your job this week. We talk about great family film.
Yes, it's classic from old country.
What are you guys talking about?
What family film?
It's one that you will not cover. Is on list.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Nathan, what are they doing?
I think they're trying to talk about a Serbian film.
Yes, so anyway, Serbian film. Let us begin.
Yes, I took my niece to this. She had such a wonderful time. 7 years old is such a precocious age.
Oh, bring the whole family.
That's what I say. Stop talking about it, you two. You're gonna give us a bad name.
No, you don't understand. This is one of those movies that we recommend. Every now and then you get a good movie on.
Yes, and we figure since you say you will not cover, we cover it as win-win, yes?
Yes. So anyway, he find dead woman. He start having sex.
Stop! Shush, dead woman and stuff. This is not okay, guys.
You can't. We don't want a Serbian film associated with us in any way. Not just us.
No, like with our show.
The show. Yeah.
No hosts will cover it. No guests will cover it. It's on the list.
Nada.
Right.
Oh, but we thought we were doing favor.
I thought we were friend.
Guys, we're your friends, but that was not doing us a favor, okay? So, Borscht Milos, if you could just get your stuff, you come back. We're going to do our episode. You come back and, do your janitorial thing.
Milos, go for them now.
Oh, it's like get them. Yo, get away from my shoes, guys! God damn it! Security!
When I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
I agree. Scree-onk.
Mm-hmm. What's your name?
My name's Nathan.
I'm Brendan.
Yes, and this is What Were They Thinking?
What were they thinking?
That's right.
That's right.
I know what they were thinking with this movie. Let's take a great premise and kind of make it a little boring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm really happy that you said that because I thought it was going to be a bit of a debate in this episode. But, well, we should, I guess, for anybody listening for the first time, we usually, here on What Were They Thinking, we take a bad movie or a questionable movie and break it down. So I guess you don't have to. I mean, you're certainly welcome to watch the movies, and we do encourage it. So this time we are doing Gamera 2.
Yep.
The sequel to Gamera Guardian of the Universe. Gamera 2, Assault on Legion, Attack of Legion, Advent of Legion.
It's got a few, doesn't it?
It's got a few titles. No, that's the whole title. That's top to bottom, the whole title. Yeah, so this is a sequel. So I think the first Gamera movie we did on the show was Guardian of the Universe.
Yes.
And then we kind of went back to the 50s, 60s?
60s, because it was the reason why was because the first Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, he took on Gauss. Mm-hmm. And so we did Gamera versus Gauss for our second Gamera Day celebration.
So this is the third Gamera movie we've done, but only the second one where he's had a different opponent, I guess.
Yes.
Or a set of opponents.
Yeah, this one was not taken off of any of the old 60s ones. This one was a new kaiju for Gamera to take on.
Well, and one thing I thought was kind of interesting before we even get into the movie is, you mentioned, I mean, I think we kind of both, spoiler alert, we both kind of found this movie was a little slow. And yep. I think that's funny because it was the first, I think I read that it was the first, okay, you're going to have to help me with this. What is Daikaiju?
It's monster, kaiju, giant monster.
I knew kaiju was, but Daikaiju I was wondering about. Yeah. But it was the first one to win like a certain kind of award, like a science fiction best film award or something like that.
Okay.
It was the only one out of the whole series, and that surprised me.
Yeah, because personally, the Gamera Guardian of the Universe and was it Attack of Iris or something like this, the third one.
Yeah.
And that one's actually quite a bit better than this one.
Yeah,
because
this one. Yeah.
In the first one, you have the girl who has her emotional connection to Gamera. Uh-huh. She's in all three of these movies. In the third one, you get another girl who bonds with the bad kaiju.
Yeah.
Which is way more interesting than what's going on in this movie.
Well, I'll tell you the most interesting thing about this movie, because it happens almost right at the beginning. The movie's title appears on screen with a burning cross.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, what is the... I was like, what is this?
Calm down, it turns into an X.
I was like, what is this, a sequel to Black Klansman or something? Like, what's going on?
Green Klansman.
Green
Gamera.
Klansman.
Yeah, that's where Gamera went undercover, to infiltrate the KKK.
I would so watch that movie. He just has like a shitty hood over his head.
I think he's from Japan.
Welcome, brother. I mean, I think he's. No, we're good. It's nothing. I would also like to take the time to say, Dai.
Yes, the Dai Film Company.
Yeah, I think that's every Gamera movie, right?
Yes, they're like, Gamera is to them what Godzilla is to Toho.
So we open this Japanese monster movie with NASA.
Yes, who, if I'm not mistaken, never really return fully until almost the end of the movie.
Yeah, and they also... It's weird, too, because there are sections, like very short sections of this movie, but there are, where people are speaking English and they're actually speaking English, like they're American characters.
Yes.
But this one, their mouths don't even move. And
there's several times where the people are speaking English and it's overdubbed, and you can tell because the lip and sound are off by like just a fraction of a second.
Yeah. It's just weird because the other ones, like the ones where they're actually mouthing the same words, they look like, it looks at least well done. This one is just like, make sure not to show their mouths because they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But NASA is playing some I guess Atari games.
There's a lot of stock nerd footage here at the first. Let's just say.
And we learned that there is about to be a collision. But I think it's like a planet and Earth or something, or a meteorite. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And but then I was really confused because we cut to this our main character. Her name is Honami. She's the science teacher.
Yep.
And when she has a class with her on a field trip, right away I thought for a second they were on the moon.
No.
was like, this is an interesting way to start this movie.
Well, it wouldn't be the first Gamera movie where kids ended up on like a different planet.
That's true. And I was also like, wait, they're on the moon and they don't have helmets. You know what? I still think it could be the moon. Because this is a giant monster movie and anything is possible.
No, they're just northern Japan, I guess. It's getting snowy. And they're out there trying to look at like Aurora Borealis or something.
Yeah, something like that. And then they find out about this meteorite that's going to hit, basically. It's going to hit directly in the same area that you're in.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, guys, if any of you watch this movie, watch it dubbed.
Oh, absolutely.
It's hilarious. One of the Japanese soldiers I wrote down sounded like Ron Swanson.
Okay.
Just for, like, the first, like, thing he said, and then it sounded like they switched over to a different voice actor.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, wait a second, what? I, like, looked down for a second. I was like, Parks and Rec.
There was... I thought it was funny because after the meteor comes down and the soldiers and stuff are moving in, there's a great blip. Did you see it where one of the soldiers fell in the snow? Like, full on fell and then just got up and started running again. They didn't bother to retake it.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
That's great. That's like, I love those mistakes. Like, I just recently watched again Zardos, and there's a scene where you literally see a horse trampled one of the guys that was on the ground.
Yes.
Like, one of the guys gets kicked in the head by a horse, and I was like, I don't think he survived that. So, I mean, yeah, mistakes. Do we have time to do another? Leave it in. Move on.
One take, Jake.
But yeah, so we get a lot of they're on this field trip. They're trying to get out. She basically says, "Come on, the field trip's over. We got to get out." And the meteor hits. It's a huge impact into the ground. But there's no nuclear radiation detected, so we're good.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine, except that when you use a lighter, it turns into a giant flame.
Yep. And because the Legion interfere with like the oxygen levels and electronics, don't they?
Yeah, I like how they picked both. They didn't decide to go with one of them.
Yeah.
Oxygen, and electronics.
Yeah. Those things go together.
Yeah, it's like Tommy Flanagan wrote the script or something. Yeah, that's the ticket. Oxygen and electronics.
We'll have it all. I like when they did when they cut the news report. Actually, this is one of the first times we see the people speaking English, but with a poor dub.
Yeah.
And all I could remark was, because of the look of it, holy Sega CD news. It looked like VOD from the 90s.
Yeah, the news segments are a lot more low budget than the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were maybe late additions to the movie.
Possibly.
To help explain what's going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they could afford Netscape for this movie, which they clearly could, because that's what they were using to search Gamera stuff on the internet. He has his own webpage.
That's right. He also this is also the best like 90s internet stuff ever. Like, I love how they say he has his own website and then they're just like, "Whoa, it's the internet." And there's even a line where she goes to use her phone and he's like, "Whoa, cell phones and computers don't mix."
Yes. The observatory where they were at, or during all, was it a Radisson? Because they were all looking like staff members at a Radisson motel.
Is this where our main character is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It does not look. Well, I'll say this: it does not look like an observatory.
No.
It's definitely like they found a room and they're like, "Great, make it look like an observatory." It kind of does. It's fine.
Look, if we rent the Radisson, maybe they'll give us a break if we agree to wear their uniforms.
Is there? Yeah, there must be a Radisson in Japan, I would assume.
Wyndhams are everywhere, so
there we go. Yeah, so there's a lot. So they're having like internet connection problems, and they're having like, which I'm just like, well, maybe that's not Legion, the creature. Maybe that's just because it's 1996.
Yeah, it's shit internet. Yeah.
And okay, so I think this is where we get the security guards, right?
Yes, and one is the returning cameo of Detective Osaka.
Yeah, and I only knew that because they mentioned it, because I didn't remember him from the first one.
You didn't? As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh right, Charles Nelson Riley's in this for a minute."
Oh, you know why? You know why that is? It's because when I watched Guardian of the Universe, I did the subtitles the first time.
Oh right,
And that's if it was like if I had heard that voice in the first one, I would not have forgotten. Because they're basically they're basically like Abbott and Costello, looking through this. They're security guards at this point because this guy's I'm assuming he's quit the force.
yes, he quit the force because it was just too much post traumatic stress from the whole Gamera Gauss incident.
I mean, understandably.
Mm-hmm.
My question though is, so I mean, we get this scene where obviously they witness the Legion creatures. We don't see them yet. And they suck out all the silicone they suck out all the glass out of the beer bottles.
Moreover, it's their egregious abuse of alcohol because what a waste.
Yeah, there's beer literally everywhere. Yeah, so the one thing that was weird to me was, the guy from the first one is being questioned, and the cop dude that's like explaining that he's the guy from the first one is like, oh yeah, they probably don't believe him because he was one of the people that witnessed Gauss. And I was like, why wouldn't you believe him then?
Right? I mean, he was there. If he was there and there was obvious evidence because it was covered, obviously, by the news in the first one, why would they find it so just absolutely inconceivable that another monster could be attacking?
Right? And like, even when he says that, she says, the girl, our main character, Honami, I'm gonna forget that name so many times, she says, Gauss? As if she's like never heard of it.
Right?
I'm like, you don't remember when a giant turtle fought a giant bat in the city?
Three giant bat pterodactyl things.
Yeah. Did that just slip past your just slip your mind? Like, what the fuck's going on?
In a coma, so don't be a comist.
It's like the first film only happened for like 4 characters or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't born then. Oh man. So yeah, this whole warehouse thing happens, and again we don't quite see Legion yet.
No. We do get the idea, though, that the creature's basically glass eaters from Mars.
Yes, and fiber optic cables, apparently.
Yes.
And right at this point, I'm like, this movie is taking a long time to start. Even at this point, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it does take some time. It never really kind of gets going like the other two in the series.
No, I find, like, Gamera vs. Gauss is more insane, whereas Guardian of the Universe gets like it gets into the plot a lot quicker,
right?
And there's not a lot of like filler. I feel like this movie has a lot of filler.
That's fair because at some points they just switch to still frames.
Oh my! What was that?
That
was so strange. I actually wrote down. I actually like thought there was something wrong with the version of the movie that I had. And I rewound it I rewound it, and
you thought it was like skipping the track or something.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, we're treated to the first one of that after Legion kind of gets out and they start attacking a city commuter train.
Yeah, and actually we get some blood in this scene.
Yeah, that was one of the things that actually kind of stood apart from the other Gamera movies. This is the only one that I could think of where someone gets like straight up brutally murdered.
I mean, it's blood thrown at the door. You don't really see, like, it's not graphic, but it was blood in general, which I was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
So this dude, we finally see what the Legion creatures look like. They have like a giant eye, and they're like a triangle, I guess.
And they have there's like field vision like the Predator.
Yeah, and they're attracted to like electromagnetic waves.
Yes.
which they treat as a big twist later, but I think it's pretty obvious early on. The way they like highlight cell phones and stuff, like when you're seeing its vision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They see when you see through their eye, you see like the electric pulse from like the cell phone battery or whatever. Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, electronics, great, got it. And then later they're like, I think it's electromagnetic waves. I'm like, yeah. we got it earlier. Remember when you showed us their vision? Where's the director? Also, this is the same director as Guardian of the Universe, I found out as well.
Oh. You think you would have done a better job.
So Mr. Kaneko, I think this is his last name. If it's
Get
not,
at us on Twitter.
Yeah, get at us on Twitter. Also, you are now a two-time subject.
Two-time director.
That's right. You and Michael Bay. You're in great company.
Legion starts building this giant pod up out of the subway station.
Yeah, it's like a flower about to bloom.
Mm-hmm. And they figure that that's going to be releasing spores, and this is where the soldiers go down into the subway to rescue the survivors, and they find them, but rather than see them dash everyone out and up the stairs out of the tunnel, this is where you get the still images of the people running with the soldiers helping them along.
Yeah, that's so weird. It's still so weird. I still don't know what to make. I still didn't know what to make of that.
Yeah.
The other thing that they do in this movie that I thought is really weird and kind of funny after a while is when they talk about like when they realize stuff, they cut to flashbacks of stills,
or even not even. Yes, they like the one with the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just stills though, or somebody says like and that's why they were eating the fiber optic cables, and it's just a shot of the three of them standing there. I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about that. What? How is this helpful? I get the flame because like you see the flame, right?
Yeah,
but that one's literally just shot from behind three people standing. Oh. Movie.
Glad I could help you.
Thank you. So yeah, this is they use the stills and to get everyone out of the subway. Mm-hmm. Although there were some victims, like basically everyone who they're trying to figure out. Oh, I wonder why those certain people were killed, and you're like, because they had cell phones.
Right.
Which, if this movie was made today, all of them would have died.
Everyone would be dead.
Every single person in Japan.
So then they start explaining kind of the nature of the bugs and what they're doing. Mm. And while this is being explained to us, if we weren't dum-dums enough, we get footage of like the types of ants and stuff they were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
In the comparison.
They're comparing it to ants like building a mushroom or something?
Yeah, they build and they feed the mushroom. It's part of their habitat, and it's a symbiotic relationship. If the ants don't feed the mushroom, then the mushroom won't help or protect the ants.
Yeah, the science in this movie is whack. I was gonna say it's a little kooky.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out though there was one scene that I laughed at pretty hard is when they're I think it's right after the subway scene. There's these cops and they're putting up all these roadblock signs
because they're getting ready to evacuate the city.
Yeah, but the way they're doing it just reminded me of like when you see a play and like all the stagehands come on and just like take stuff off the stage or move stuff around because the music was just like
that must be why I have that hut video note here where they're all walking in step.
Yes, I love that too. Who makes fun of... I think it's like I like
Mystery
the South Park movie.
Theater's done it a couple times, and yeah, they did it in. I think they've done it on South Park a few times.
They're like, oh no. So where are we at this point? So I think this is where it does open up as a flower, right?
Yes. So I'm just looking through my notes here.
It's not as memorable as the other ones. Like honestly, I wrote down stuff that happens, but it's hard to like recall a lot of it.
Well, yeah, and then because
all the stuff it's so kind of bland when it comes to the people section of it that I have notes like light circus, hell of a sweater. What the hell does that mean?
It's very formula.
Those notes, they're just my riffs for something I saw on the screen. It's so forgettable that I can't be bothered to write anything else than light circus, hell of a sweater.
I wrote down a line because I was confused at times because just like it felt like everybody was taking turns explaining things and they were like doing way too much. And I just wrote down a line and somebody asked like, why are people stealing fiber optic cables? And someone said, people are getting confused. And I said, same.
We go to next to the first time we see Gamera, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, well, can I also say that if they're getting if they're going after silicon and stuff, thank God Dolly Parton isn't in this movie.
Just
wouldn't that be great? Dolly Parton versus Legion or whatever. Come on, sugar.
She would win just by her strength and talent alone.
She's riding Gamera.
Come on, y'all.
Oh my God. Make it happen, Hollywood.
Flying Gamera.
Oh my God.
What a win.
Gonna wipe out the Legion.
Anyhow.
Yes. Man, we'll go back to our Dolly Parton sequel later.
Yeah, so they're out the ocean in the sea, and someone's like, oh, do you see anything out there? And they're like, just dolphins. And then you see the Gamera shell coming right up out of the water, which was, fairly sharp, but I feel like a lot of the stuff they did with the effects, they did a lot of those shots at nights just so they could kind of cheap a bit on the CG.
Oh, for sure. Almost everything in this scene, if it's not at night, if it's during the day, then it's usually inside.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed at that too, just when he's like, is anything going on down there? He's like, just dolphins, and there's literally like 100 dolphins. Just 100 dolphins getting the fuck out of Dodge, but other than that, everything's normal.
Yeah.
But yes, Gamera makes his first appearance in the movie. I wrote down, I think it's about a half hour into the movie that he finally shows up.
Mm.
Is this normal? Like, for him to wait that long?
Not really.
Because it did feel like a long time.
I mean, it can be forgiven.
Yeah.
Not in this case, but I mean, if in other situations, like the 2014 Godzilla.
Yes.
Godzilla took forever to show up in that movie, but when he showed up, it was worth it, and the fights looked really cool.
Oh yeah, like there's other movies where they do that it's great. Like Jaws is, I think, one of the best examples, like one of the classic examples, right? You don't see the shark until nearly an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and it's fine if the supporting stuff around you, or just around the creature, is compelling. Mm-hmm. It'll keep you interested. That didn't happen in this movie.
No. Somebody does randomly quote the Bible, though.
And, oh my God.
When Gamera is like...
And just... Not prompted in any way other than by seeing something and feeling a need to quote the Bible.
Like, literally, he goes, John, whatever, something, something, Legion. Okay, they're called Legion now. Great, moving on. What? Oh. So,
but anyways, Gamera does, he flies into town. Gamera's back in town. Yeah, Gamera's back in town. New and improved a little bit. Sorry. It's okay. Let your inner Phil line it out.
Spin the shell every which way.
So, but he shows up to blast the first pod. That's right, it didn't open because he shoots the first one. Mm. Kablamo! Get out of the way, buildings. He crashes into buildings and stuff like that, and then he just torches the pod.
So many civilian deaths.
Worse than Superman.
More civilian deaths than Man of Steel.
I gotta say, though, hell of a green screen.
Gamera, performed by Henry Cavill.
They had to Photoshop the mustache out, though.
Gamera should have had a mustache. I agree. So
That
yeah,
would but fun part of his new and improved look.
just he looks exactly the same, but he has like a handlebar.
Big Tom Selleck bushy mustache. And then the soldier who sounds like Ron Swanson, him and Gamera could be like mortal enemies. Look, we're writing a better movie already.
Oh my god, this sounds
because
amazing.
they hate each other, or they're envious of each other's mustaches.
Gamera versus Nick Offerman. Make it happen. You know what?
Make it happen, man.
No, you know what? No, Nathan, not make it happen. We're making it. Get away from us. Oh, jeez. Okay, so Gamera, he does blow it up, and but then I think all the Legion creatures
start
crawling
attacking
up.
him. Yeah,
yeah, and like cover his whole body.
And this is where some shameful CGI, like, even though they shot it for dark so they could cheap on it, it still looks super fakey.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Even for like a admittedly low budget kaiju movie, it's not like the best quality. But what they're attracted to like some kind of electromagnetic energy at that point, and then Gamera's able to fly away, although he's bleeding green all over the place.
He's hurt. He's covered in those Legion monsters.
It sounds like you're saying he's covered in lesions.
Well, he probably was. I mean, he was bleeding, right?
Sure.
But we get to see like the leader of the Legion, I guess.
Queen Legion.
For lack of a better term, yeah.
Queegion.
Stop it.
Lean Queegion.
We get the first appearance of the girl who talks to Gamera.
Yeah. Oh, but not before they go on the Gamera website and they accidentally go to a porn site.
I didn't get that. I got they try to go to his website and then they get crumpled up.
Yeah. Did you hear? Did you not listen to the sounds like after that?
No.
Oh, as soon as that happens, I swear I heard from the computer. It's like and then he says there's a line there. He says to the other guy, "Don't be a bitch."
Yes, don't be a bitch. Bring that back.
Well, that's what when I thought it was porn. I was like, why are you saying "don't be a bitch"? That's something.
Now I'll have to rewatch it just for that.
Gamera, it's for the kids.
Yeah. So we cut to an alien autopsy after that.
Oh yeah, because they got one of the creatures somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find out it's not filled with sinewy fluids like us. It's filled with pockets of gas, which I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of like us.
Some questionable science is what I'm saying.
What? What? Sorry, I know this is going back in time, but I just want to make everyone know that I have a note here that said, "Am I high? Why are we talking about ants?" And I wasn't. That's the thing.
Well, good.
Yeah. Watch this clean and sober.
I could only imagine how you'd take it if you were altered.
Holy, well, like, again, going back to Zardos, I watched it that way, so it was an experience.
Moving on.
Yes, don't watch Zardos High.
The two sciencey guys meet up with the girl, and they're at her place, and her dad's a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Who's like doesn't trust her at all.
No,
and
he's like, men?
And kind of rightfully so. He knows where her booze, or she hides booze from him.
A lot of booze.
Yes.
She has like a whole shelf.
In a situation like that, I mean, you're hiding booze, get to a meeting.
Oh, and so basically this pharmacy has booze hidden in the back of it.
Well, no, she's upstairs in the apartment.
Yeah, but it's connected to the pharmacy, is it not?
Right, but it's like their living space is over top of their shop. I wouldn't say it's like, a customer could get to it.
Okay, fair enough. Unless that's her side business.
Bootlegging in Japan.
The next 30 minutes of this movie is just about that.
No, we get to another shot where it's not winter anymore for some reason.
Right.
I don't know what was up with that. The paying attention of the continuity of the seasons was a little out of whack.
Well, what happened is it's 4 months later and nothing happened during those 4 months. Characters just stood still.
So they could take still shots.
That's right. This movie doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. It's funny because at this point someone makes mention of the girl who could talk with Gamera. She had her connection with Gamera. And they're like, that's ridiculous. And it's like, okay, so the giant talking turtle, the 3 pterodactyl bird bats that he fought 5 years ago, and the ginormous beetles and queen beetle, perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
Someone who can communicate with them, ridiculous.
And also this general who's like, I'm not going to help Gamera. We can't trust a monster. He saved the country.
He saved the planet.
Time. Yeah. He saved all of your lives. Well,
he guardianed the universe.
I mean, admittedly, probably killing as many as he saved, but
I don't feel that's the case.
Well, there, like we said, Man of Steel. There's a lot of
collateral damage. Yes.
Yeah. Coming soon, collateral damage.
You've said that before.
I know. I'm gonna keep promising it.
No, the legions attack a pachinko parlor because of all the lights and the glass. That they attack like a pachinko parlor. It's like a gambling establishment.
Yes. Yeah.
All the lights go out and you hear beads spilled. Luckily, no Raspberry Pi was thrown against the wall like in the subway.
Yeah.
I did think it was kind of cool that Sendai, the city where most of this takes place at, had a Mr. Donut.
I didn't even notice that.
I saw that and I was like, man, I haven't seen a Mr. Donut sign in decades.
Was that ever a thing in Canada?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. And now Mr. Donut has a first name and it's Tim. And a different last name.
Anyhow.
And it's McDonald's.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks. Yeah, so she meets, I think this is the point where she finally meets this woman with the mental connection to Gamera via...
Before that, I have a fun note. There's a press conference, and somebody's looking for a Mr. Miyagi.
Yes! I wrote that too!
Or in introducing somebody here, I was like, Mr. Pat Morita's in this movie? Damn!
Right? Yeah, it was like the reporter guy, because his the TV goes all fuzzy, and then the Japanese Regis Philbin is like, Mr. Miyagi? Mr. Miyagi, are you still there? Or I guess, I don't know whoever hosts the Today Show now. Maybe he's like Japanese, like... I don't know.
Not Matt Lauer?
Yeah, not Matt Lauer. Or maybe Japanese Al Roker or something? I don't know. I don't keep up with the current times.
So people are getting worried about Gamera, and I was like, calm down. He's friend of all children. It'll be okay.
He does get his ass kicked in this movie a lot, though.
But that happens. That's how every Gamera movie happens.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's the Rocky. They're like, I actually have a note. Gamera is the Rocky of kaiju.
Well, and it's like the wrestling thing too, right? Mm-hmm. The baby face, the good guy, can't dominate right away because you got to make the heel look strong.
Right. It's because so the face has something to overcome.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we get that. That's their first tie-up, and at this point of the movie, when I was watching it, my marriage almost ended.
What?
Because Patty looked at the screen. She's like, "Oh, Godzilla." I was so upset.
Here are the papers. You just sign here. I'll take the car. You take the house.
Yep.
Wow.
So once we got that all smoothed out, we got back to watching the movie.
After you had to pause the movie for 20 minutes and make sure your marriage was safe, you got back to the movie.
But yeah, this is the first fight between Legion and Gamera, and there's a couple times where like Legion's doing a pretty good job at dominating, and at one point Gamera's almost like, "Is that all you got? Come on!"
I gotta say too, I think this is one thing that was different in this movie than the other Gamera movies. I didn't really like the fights.
Really?
I wasn't a big fan of like Gamera fighting the giant Legion creature.
Mm.
At least parts of it, because there were long stretches where they were just like dancing in place for a long time. And I know that's like part of it, but it just got a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dragged a bit. It's a bit draggy.
The next one, Iris. The fight's a little bit better in that one because they're both kind of like she's airborne.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more of Gamera flying than there was kind of in this one.
Powered by farts.
Leg jets, actually. Thank you very much. Disrespectful.
Roger Ebert said he was powered by farts.
You're powered by farts.
Well, that's true, but I'm not.
He's not powered by farts anymore because he's dead.
Oh. R.I.P.D.
Coming soon.
Yeah, you said that before, too.
Oh, well. Guess we're even then.
Okay, so the girl that could talk to Gamera.
Yes.
She has that pendant. She was also in the last movie, I guess. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's the one who her dad was like, "Why can't you quit Gamera?" When the Gamera's getting his ass kicked and like she was getting cut and stuff too.
I mean, I guess it's been a while since we watched it. Well, since I watched it.
For you, maybe, yeah.
I watched it like 2 years ago, so. But I think this is where the military is finally, because Sendai gets wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
The city, like, literally, I don't know if everyone dies in the city, but it gets destroyed.
Yes.
And they're basically like, we can't afford another Sendai. And so they start sending tank brigades into town to...
And they're showing, like, the headlines around the world are talking about this situation.
Yes.
And there's one which made me know that this is not set in our future time, because it said the president pledges aid.
Zing!
Hi-oh!
I also have a similar note when the prime minister is talking, and I said, wait a second, this is the leader, but he's talking normally and not insulting reporters. I'm so confused. There's also a newspaper headline, because, you know, whenever movies show newspapers, they obviously, like, a lot of times they change, like, they make the big headline for the movie, but they leave a lot of the other stuff in.
Oh, like, there's, like, secondary stories over on the other part of the page.
Yeah, this is what I saw, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense. It says, sentences for boy killers renew debate on saving society's land.
Wow.
What? I like clearly not supposed to look at that article because it's
How
small.
How clear
on the
was the picture you were when you saw this?
It wasn't too bad. Like it wasn't like the smallest one, but it was like
so, it's like it's bug killer, like pesticides.
What?
Well, you said that the headline was like, oh no, because it was sentence, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, sentence for boy killer. It's definitely boy killer.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Let's move on from this.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be fun. It turned really dark.
Sorry. I didn't make the movie. Okay, and at this point, when the Prime Minister is talking, so the Japanese Prime Minister is basically talking, saying, we're going to give aid to the cities that have been affected, we're going to send in, units to combat this Legion creature. I wrote down, and then there was, like, they cut to, like, a scene with, like, a little kid reacting to it, and I was like, oh no, I thought we were going to make it through this movie without an annoying Gamera kid.
The good thing is the closest you get is just the cameo or the return of the girl who can talk to Gamera.
Yeah, and she's, like, older, so it's not too bad.
It's not itchy.
Oh, my goodness.
Or any of the other kids from any other Gamera movies, because they're all pretty awful.
Did you get, like... So, at this point, people are, they're leaving to go fight Legion. And I think, at this point, too, we assume that Gamera has basically been killed, seemingly.
Well, they think that.
Yeah.
And because I have a note, he ain't dead. He's just resting.
That's right. It's like that's like both of the other Gamera movies that they thought he was dead for a while. Because he was in the Sendai when it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
But so people are getting sent off to war, and there's one point where a soldier gets in like the chopper to head towards wherever, and I was like, this guy's the worst motivational speaker ever, because he's like, I guess we're gonna go fight Legion. Gamera couldn't even kill it. Well, good luck.
Way to rally the troops.
Well, thanks, asshole. What do we got at this point here? So I think this is where they start to fight it, right?
Yes, because they deploy and destroy. Not so much, but they try.
About 50% of them are wiped out right off the bat.
Yeah.
So the general's like, more air support, because I'm a stereotypical dumb general.
Right. But we get some news coverage of everything that's happening. There's a really beat up news podium. Like, it looked like it was fashioned in a middle school shop in the 70s. Maybe it's not that bad, but you get what I'm saying. It doesn't look clean and professional.
I love how specific that was. Yeah, so the girl that could talk to Gamera, her and like a bunch of other people for some reason, they all go to like where Gamera is like encased in rock.
Yes. And they start kind of praying to Gamera.
Yeah, they're trying to like revive him basically. Mm-hmm. At the same time, so they revive him eventually. He finally comes back to life, and spins into action, flies towards the Queen Legion, whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we have scientist dude from earlier in the movie.
Well, no, you know how. Sorry to cut you off, but you know how he revived the girl who can talk to Gamera. She was holding on to her. What's
pendant?
It called? The pendant, yeah. That she got in the first one, and she's holding on to it and believing in Gamera so much, and that it breaks in her hand, and then Gamera comes back to life, and it's like, that was her last one-up. I hope he wins.
She believed in him so hard that it broke the pendant.
Yep. And this is when we fly Air Gamera.
Yes. It spins into action, and yeah, this is where the fight's coming up. But at the same time, the young scientist dude is it figures out a plan to, okay, what is this place that he's trying to get them to basically turn on all the radio waves or something?
Yeah, because he figures because other Legion are going to attack Gamera.
The little ones, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 2-on-1 advantage. It's going to be an Enzo Amore and Big Cass type situation, right?
Yes. That means so much more now.
Yeah, right? One's going to beat him, the other's going to rape him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So to stop that from happening, they want to create a distraction and amp up all the electricity at this one power station to draw all the little ones away, so Gamera can have a one-on-one fight with the main Legion, the Queen Legion, if you will.
Quegion.
The Quegion.
Yeah. So it ends up working. All these little things get attracted to the big light panel or whatever, and yeah, that happens.
Well, the getting that thing turned on, that was kind of an interesting exchange over the phone, because we have the young science dude trying to convince the guy to turn the stuff on. The guy's like, "You're just yanking my chain, some prank caller." I was like, this is a pretty specific prank call.
Right? And
like,
also,
he's using scientific language to explain to him why they need to turn it back on. You kids and your crank calls.
And also, has the guy not turned on a TV once in the last 2 days?
Exactly.
Or sorry, my bad, Nathan, in the last 4 months because of the season change. But yeah, it's weird. And then the weird thing is, the movie, you'd think he says, "Oh, it's a prank call," and hangs up, and you think that kid would have to come up with another idea or something. Mm-hmm. But what happens is he just calls him back again. He's like, "Well, okay." Really, movie? You could think of another way to get to that?
So this is a big portion of the fight is up here now. I mean, I got Gamera jets away with the Legion, the main Legion, a little bit, and then he gets knocked on his back. I was like, oh, damn it, Turtle, come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, Gamera, it really gets like 3 or 4 shots in the whole fight.
But he does get one in, and he hits the... I have a note. He shot him in the gas hole.
Shot him in the gas hole?
Well, because they have pockets of gas.
Uh-huh.
Right? So, shot him in the gas hole.
Is that before or after he rips his, like, horn off?
I think this is before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the same time, back at the comm station, radio wave, whatever, one of the little Legion creatures, like, breaks in.
Mm-hmm.
And the general, I guess one of the generals shows up on time. I had a hard time, like, I didn't get connected with any of these characters except for, like, the main girl and maybe the young scientist dude.
Barely anybody in this movie.
They're just so...
I remember the scientist who fought to get the electricity turned back on.
The young dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who was like, thank you, like, when the guy was like, alright, I'll listen to you.
Well, and it's like, it's a disaster movie, or not a disaster movie, but it's like a trope in movies like this where, like, you're like, you get like maybe 2 or 3 characters and the rest you're like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But anyway, that thing breaks in and this general shows up and hilariously distracts it by throwing a cell phone and then just shoots it in the head.
Oh, that must be where that note is from. Because when he shoots it in the head, it's like...
That's the shot it in the gas.
Shot it in the gas hole.
Because I was like, I don't remember Gamera shooting it in the ass. I think I would remember that.
No, well, and in all fairness, the guard didn't shoot the Legion in the asshole either. He just shot him in a hole that created a bunch of gas.
Yeah.
So he shot him in his gas hole.
I mean, that's pretty similar in definition to an asshole.
Right. Kind of.
Yeah, so, I mean, he shoots he kills it by shooting it in the head. That's its weakness. Headshots.
As with most things.
Nope, just Legion.
Yeah.
Anything else gets shot in the head, it just keeps walking.
It builds on ticking along,
It builds a new head. So, I think while Gamera is fighting the Queen, what is it? Something shows up and, like, basically torches all the little Legion creatures.
Oh, all the, like, are you talking about the
ones that are, like, stuck to the comm station?
Yeah, the military starts taking them out to help Gamera.
Because at first they're like, I don't want to help Gamera. What has he done for us lately?
Gauss, anyone?
Yeah, Gauss. And also, like, every time you're in trouble, he's there. Friend to all children.
That's Guardian of the Universe.
Hello.
So, while the Guardian of the Universe is fighting Legion, he comes in with the hot hand. But Legion throws their tendrils. I was like, tendrils? Where? What? Where? Come on.
Oh, yeah, because that's after he, like, rips his horn off and seemingly kills Legion.
Yeah, but instead shoots it with his, like, 80s rock effects.
Yeah, it's like he's shooting him with, like, his laser, like, Twizzler whips or something.
Mm.
And then you're like, oh no, Legion made his, like, last minute comeback. It's all over. How can Gamera come back from this?
Oh, but he lights him up.
What happened?
Even when Gamera shoots the energy out of his chest.
Yes.
That's a thing.
That's all that happened? Okay.
Well, no, he instead of, like, the fire breath or the fireballs that he breathes, it's like when Mega Man, you hold the fire button in Mega Man, it powers up the shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what he did. He powered up the shot, but because the shot's so big it can't come out of his mouth, his chest opens up and bursts forth a flame. Makes perfect sense.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay, so with the Bible verse earlier, I thought this movie's, like, Christian, like, not Christian, but, like...
Gamera making the sacrifice?
Jesus coming down to help Gamera.
They only cover Gamera sacrificing himself to win something in Gamera the Brave. They reference it at the first.
So this movie will now be known forever as Godmera.
No, because Toho will sue because they think you're trying to steal the Godzilla thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's double meanings.
Careful.
We could also make it a crossover, or just have Gamera be God.
Well, he does do a full-on Undertaker in this one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sits
You
right
think he's
up.
dead and he just...
His eyeballs go in the back of his skull.
Yeah. Well, that's the full-on Undertaker, because when he's doing the power shot, all the fire and everything, they show a picture of his face, and his eyes have rolled back. He's got nothing but whites.
Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. So Gamera shoots him with his belly.
Mm-hmm.
And kills Quijin.
Yes.
That sounds so gross. Quijin.
Just say the head legion.
But it's funner to say. Funner? Ew. I'm
Oh,
done.
you son of a bitch.
What were they thinking? We're done. Bye. I'm already ashamed of it, Nathan.
Good. See, I help. That's how I help.
So, Quijin is dead.
Yep.
And all the other Legion things have been burned up. And they're all gone. And everything is safe.
Yep.
But then someone says, like... So as the movie's ending, a character actually says, like, something along the lines of, like, well, Gamera helped us, but if he ever doesn't like us, we're doomed. I'm like, what does he need to do to get you to realize?
They say that they're talking about how Gamera rose up to defend the Earth, the planet. Not the people, but the actual planet.
Right.
And so he posits, well, if we keep killing our environment... And then the girl gets the parting line, that wouldn't make Gamera very happy.
You wouldn't like Gamera when he's happy. The incredible Gamera.
Gamera will return in...
Gamera. Gamera turns into the Hulk? What the hell?
He would be considerably smaller then.
Well, no, but a Hulk... okay, let me say it like this. Like multiply his size...
Oh, so like a Hulk version of Gamera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gamera Hulk.
He'd be as big as Godzilla.
So it'd just be Godzilla.
Well, in turtle form.
They would just make him more green. And give him a shell. That was a lot of nonsense.
That movie was a lot of nonsense.
It was. So, I mean, that's the end of the movie. The Gamera... to Advent / Assault / Attack of Legion.
Yep.
Is there anything we missed you want to mention before we kind of give our closing thoughts?
No. Again, like I said, it's the least of my favorite of the Heisei series, the 90s ones. Just because it's so slow and the plot's a little ridiculous. The first one and the third one are the best of the bunch.
Of all of them, or just of the new ones?
I would actually say of all of them.
Okay.
As much as I have a soft spot in my heart for the original Gamera versus Gauss, and even Gamera versus Guiron, I still got to say that the first and third 90s one of the best Gamera films of the bunch.
What's the one where he fights a giant knife? Because I want to do that one too.
Yeah, it's Godzilla versus Guiron.
Godzilla?
Sorry. Gamera! I guess now my shame will live on forever. Gamera versus Guiron.
There we go. That's the one? That's the one with the knife?
Yes.
Okay, that one's great. I've seen the knife battle where the knife just like saws away at him for like 5 minutes.
There's in that one, Guiron also fights Space Gauss.
Nice.
And cuts him up. Like, kills him and cuts him like into sections.
Kids movies.
My kids loved it.
Again, most of them have no blood, so it's fine.
Well, we find out that Gauss, or Space Gauss, is just a solid tube of purple filling.
As I expected.
Right.
So, aside from the amazing, like, Japanese country sing-along at the end...
Mm-hmm.
Arigato! Would you recommend people watch this?
Of course I'm going to recommend it. There's only one Gamera movie that I will not recommend people watch. Mm-hmm. And that's Gamera Super Monster. Terrible movie.
A clip show, apparently.
Yes.
But would you say this is like a light recommendation, though?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're going to watch any of them, watch the Guardian of the Universe or the third one. It's like Attack of Iris.
Yeah. And if you want to watch a really, like, dumb and funny one, Gamera vs. Gauss is pretty great.
Yep. Actually, any of the, I guess the late 60s, early 70s ones are a lot of fun. If you can get an English translation of Gamera versus Baragon, that one's kind of fun because there's no kids at all in that one. It's the only Gamera movie from the 60s, 70s that didn't have a kid as like a sidekick or an attachment to Gamera.
That sounds like my kind of Gamera movie.
It's a pretty fun little one. He's a lizard dog that shoots a rainbow ray out of his back.
Wait, and real quick, which is the one with the aliens? That like they're just people with like crappy costumes.
Well, there's a couple of those ones. Gamera vs. Guiron has two ladies like that.
Oh, that's what it is.
But there's another one, Gamera versus Virus, and Gamera versus Zigra.
They kidnap like a family, right? Or two kids?
Two kids.
Yeah. Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of. So I recommend that movie.
Over this one, eh?
Yeah, this one I'm not too crazy about, honestly. It's okay. Like, watch like some of the stuff, but you can fast forward through a lot of it.
If you want to watch it just because you want some fun monster fights, but nothing you have to pay attention to in the middle, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like we said, you'll get the twist 5 minutes in. And if you don't, well, you just heard us say it, so.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Nathan, we are going to take a brief commercial break.
Okie doke.
We will be right back.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLOCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLOCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk. We're back!
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it was it took a few minutes there, cleaned up. Okay, no, that was weird. But Nathan?
Yes, Brendan?
I think it's time for Low Haiku.
Low Haiku. The moment of the show where we take it down a bit to make you feel better about yourself.
Dim the lights. Take the sheets off the couch.
Hey,
I don't know
slow
what
down.
That means.
This isn't a Barry White.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. I don't remember who started last time.
Well, if I may, I will go first.
I'll go for it.
Okay. Gamera, big turtle, protector of the universe. Now, poem forgettable.
I was waiting for the last couple syllables there.
I did it. I wanted it to be as forgettable as the middle sections of all the people in this Gamera movie.
Okay, well, I'll read my low haiku.
Okay.
No sign of Itchy. No Japan of Green Gables. Not my Gamera.
Excellent. It served to show your disdain for the lack of characters that you looked forward to seeing in this possible sequel.
I don't understand why they didn't bring back Japan of Green Gables. She was a major part of the movie.
a solid part of the movie. Real plot pivotal character.
And
and we're back.
Yeah. What happens? What?
I don't like talking artsy about Gamera.
I like every podcast. I black out for 3 minutes, and I mean, it turns out we did haiku. It's weird. Like I post it because I mean I think it's pretty good, but like
the first one was a little forgettable.
Well, to match the movie,
right?
It was intentionally. But Nathan, now that that's out of the way, we had an opinion, obviously, when we watched this movie. But what do we always say?
Well, we always say,
don't take a word for us.
Well, maybe you will.
I don't know. There's a couple of reviews, and it's got an 83% audience rating.
And what is the critics rating on that?
There's no consensus yet.
How many reviews?
2.
Oh, and I think the critics rating is N/A. N out of A. I give this an N out of A.
Well, there's no consensus yet. There's only 2, and one of them is a fresh review, and the other is a rotten one that doesn't even really appear.
Oh, I think N out of A is a pretty good rating. That's like a 50%.
Hey, Tim Brayton from Antagony and Ecstasy gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, what do you have to say?
What the film does boast that sets it above all the movies with similar plots in Kaneko's strong guiding hand and clear awareness of what he wants the movie to be.
Fair enough. I only have audience ones. And one from I think one from Amazon and one from IMDb. So because I had a hard time finding ones that were insane. Most of these reviews just talk about how it's an entertaining kaiju movie. A lot of them talk about how it's overrated, which I would agree with, because if it's the one that received all the awards, it seems kind of weird.
Well, yeah, in such a high audience rating, too, is kind of odd for me.
I mean, I'm sure Guardian of the Universe has as high, if not higher. But this one is a 5-star review, and it says, follows on from Guardian of the Universe, albeit a bit better than the first movie. Easily more fun than writing an essay.
Okay.
So there you go. It's better than an essay.
Christopher Heim, who is a super reviewer, with a super profile pic.
Oh, what is it?
It looks like a stock school photo or something.
Excellent.
It's just like a black and white headshot.
Professional reviewer Christopher
says, if Guardian of the Universe was Batman Begins, then this film is The Dark Knight.
What?
It did not seem possible, but this movie manages to be infinitely better than its predecessor, wrong, which is already a great film. Right. The visual creativity is astounding, using a variety of techniques from... Jesus, this is long. From models, monster suits, digital effects, to even stop motion. I'll just suspend it there because he goes on for quite some time.
Well, he is a super reviewer. He's got to maintain a reputation.
Yep.
This is a quick little review. The rating is not interested. And it says, Helen, are you trying to pronounce camera again? Did he... I feel like this is... I want to unpack this a little bit.
It's like some Amazon Echo or Alexa thing gone wrong.
Right? Like, this is still Rotten Tomatoes. So I feel like, I don't know, is someone trying to, type into Facebook Messenger? Helen was in the other room. I don't know. Trying to say camera, but the computer kept going to Gamera, and he said it, but said Alexa first, so it appeared on the screen?
Possibly.
I want to ask this person.
What is this world we live in?
I know, right? Also, mispronouncing camera to say Gamera? That's pretty bad. You don't even say camera. Do you say camera?
No.
No one does. If you guys say camera, get at us on Twitter. Okay, go ahead.
Carter S. gave it 3 stars. Says the characters aren't interesting and Legion looks cool but lacks connection with Gamera. The effects are cool though. Overall, Gamera 2 Attack of Legion is probably the weakest in the trilogy.
All right.
He's not wrong.
He's not. Well, yeah. I haven't seen the third one, but I'm sure it'll come up at some point soon.
Yeah.
This is the one I pulled from Amazon. We don't usually do Amazon, but like I said, I was just looking all around. 3 stars. They said, the movie was not all I believe it to be, not at a good fair price. Okay, I guess, bye.
How much did they pay for it?
Like how they said bye at the end.
Yeah, well, that was nice of them.
Nice.
The formal bidding of adieu.
I thought that was nice that they posted their clearly their message to the sender in the review.
I got my copy, all 3 of them for $10.
Yeah, it's like 2 something on Amazon. Just this.
There you go.
I only have one more. Do you have any?
I got one. I got from Mark C, who gave it 4.5 stars,
Wow.
and it's a pretty succinct little review here. A fire-breathing turtle from outer space with space shuttle-like propulsion. Nuff said.
He's not wrong about that.
He is not.
But somehow they made that a little duller than it should have been. I don't know how they did it.
Well, they won me back in the next one.
This is a weird review.
Okay.
So, bear with me.
Okay.
Gamera 2 Attack of Legion. This was just a hell of a lot of fun. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, giant monster movies I've seen. Just awesome, non-stop fun with great monster fights and insane nuclear explosion. Singular. 7.5. Le Samurai. I absolutely, without a doubt, adore this movie. It is such an incredible film, from its technicalities to its stellar performances from every single person in the cast. Melville was such a brilliant director. I can't wait to watch Bob Le Flambeur. I'm glad you liked it too, Jen. Sorry it seemed like a bit of a disappointment. I really feel like I built it up way too much. 9.5. My Man Godfrey. A really sweet, charming romantic comedy. William Powell is hilarious with his wonderfully sarcastic charm and sense of humor, openly making fun of the members of a family right to their face without them even realizing it. A great film with a great perfect ending. Carol Lombard was also cute and a great pairing with Powell. 8.5.
The hell was that?
Just gonna bunch all your reviews into one review. Also, I love it because I've never heard of My Man Godfrey or Le Samurai.
Le Samurai.
Oh, just killed 3 birds with 1 stone. Put it all under Attack of Legion.
So, if you're not entertained by the movie, read some of the reviews because they are great.
I'm still confused by that one.
It almost like he did all his reviews on a notepad or like in Word and just copied and pasted, but for some reason did a select all instead of just selecting the Gamera one he was supposed to be reviewing.
And listen, if in the nearly impossible case that you are Helen, please tell us what happened with that review.
Were you trying to pronounce camera?
Were you saying camera? Camera, Guardian of the Universe. Oh my. Well, that, like I said, that was Gamera.
Yes.
The movie of 17 titles. So
I think the third one's got a couple of different titles too.
Excellent. But Nathan, we come to that point in the show where we must warn, or I guess tell the people what movie to watch for the next episode.
Well, you're gonna give a hint-a-roo.
A clueski.
Just like a snippet of something to entice them.
Yeah, whet their appetite.
Make them ponder what the what movie will be.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So here's your clue for what's coming up. Werewolf, bro! That's it.
Okay.
Yep. Don't get too hung up on the word werewolf, that's all I'll say. Okay, so now you have a friend there that would like to plug his channel and all that good stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello! It's your good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I just like to thank you, the two of you, for having me on. I understand that you had some chaps from the old country as guests a few weeks back, the Cecil and Reginald.
Yes, delightful individuals, by the way.
Well, they've always been a couple of laid-back, mellow chaps. I wonder what their secret is.
Cannabis, I think.
Oh! I'm entirely un-British. I don't believe a word you're saying.
I'm sorry for insulting you and your country.
That's better, you filthy blackguard. Anyhow, you could check out my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. Delightful reviews of wrestling and whatnot. You can also follow me on the Facebook at Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. And then also on Twitter, you can follow at Montrose III, that's the number 3RD. And you can tweet with a delightful British chimp. Thank you! More later.
And I'm sure you can also watch I'm assuming a 10-star review of Crown Jewel.
I did not watch that kind of filthy person. Terrible! No! I refused to watch that pay-per-view out of protest.
Some of the best booking the WWE has ever done.
I'm sure. Some of the best booking they've ever sold.
Oh!
Taking it's a hot take on that one.
Montrose with the zinger.
Now I'm going to leave before you angry up my blood. Good day, sir.
Good day.
I said good day.
Good day.
You lose. Good day.
Good day. Well, thanks, Montrose.
Good bird.
Nathan, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. I thought he pushed you out of the way again.
Well, he shoved me a bit as he ran past me.
Of course he does.
Angry little fella.
He is angry. I mean, all I said was that Crown Jewel was the best thing WWE's ever done.
Well, I think you also insinuated that two people that he holds in high regard were, potheads.
Did I insinuate it by saying that their secret was cannabis?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I thought it was being more subtle.
No, and I think that bothered him.
Oh, I apologize. Apologize to
he'll be fine.
All the people of England.
No, we know who Reginald and Cecil are. So.
The United Kingdom in general. Yeah, so, I mean, listen to our podcast, which you're doing right now. But you can also listen to us on all the platforms, Apple Podcasts, /iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Belly Itcher, Castbox, Frankenstein, Lunch.
You're just going to make them up again. We're going to do that bit again?
Go back.
Did it for like 2 years.
Digging out old
or
bit
the
out
Al
of the
Jazeera
trunk.
Network and the Teddy Ruxpin Appreciation Society.
I'm going to my trunk bits.
Human Sentai Pod. Pod Kit Knife.
Yep.
Pod Closet.
Keep going. Gamera. I got nothing. Yeah, so anyway, we're everywhere.
Those are all the fake ones, I remember.
We're on all the real ones and all the fake ones.
Yeah.
You can also
Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean.
Don't forget Al Jazeera Network.
Yes, and HBO, but you have to pay the extra.
We also have an event in Saudi Arabia coming up.
No, we don't.
Wait, they're paying us $7 billion.
How much is your soul worth to you?
6.5.
Okay.
I'm making profit.
I guess you're going.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. And you can also find us on Twitter at WWTT Podcast. Search for us on Facebook, What Were They Thinking? Also Facebook group, What Were They Thinking Interactive. I'm also doing another podcast with a former guest of ours. He's been on a few times. What was that?
You two-timing hussy. I gave you the best 3 years of my life.
Nathan, I have to... this podcast is starting up, meaning I have to shut this one down. I apologize.
You cheating bastard.
No, but there's a second podcast on the way, premiering on Monday, December 3rd, and then it'll be every Monday following that, called For Screen and Country, and it's a podcast about great movies. on the British Film Institute top 100 British films of all time.
Like legitimate good movies.
Yeah. There might...
Okay.
Well, we've recorded a few, and I'll say they haven't all been amazing, so we'll see.
Stepping out and getting some strange, eh?
That's right. What? So you can find it, for Screen and Country is what it's called. You can find it on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. And I believe that's, well, for What Were They Thinking, you can also head to our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/WWTT podcast. Lots of great things you can sign up for on that site, like guest hosting, picking the movie, lots of good stuff. And Redbubble, just search for us on Redbubble, because we got stuff there too.
If you ever wanted a Human Centipede t-shirt.
Exactly.
Kisser to Keiser.
You ever wanted to drink coffee out of a mug with poop on it?
There you go. Well, that's roundly available.
Oh, yeah, that's true, I guess. Well, poop and people Kisser to Keister.
Okay.
Yeah. And our logo on it.
Right.
Just so everyone knows that it's ours.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all that good stuff. But I mean, now that that's all taken care of, Nathan...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Having seen this movie, I do have a few questions for you.
Oh, we'll do go on. I'm always happy to answer people's questions about Gamera.
Well, I mean, in a movie where instead of filming some scenes, we literally just saw snapshots.
Right.
And in a movie where, it takes a good 30 minutes before a flying turtle shows up in the movie about the flying turtle. Mm-hmm. And...
in the sequel about the movie of the flying turtle.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. That we should be seeing minute 1. In a movie where I'm pretty sure they watched porn at one point and some guy told the other guy to stop being a bitch.
As one does.
I just gotta know.
What's that?
What were they thinking?
Gamera. Gamera is really neat. Gamera is filled with meat. We all love you, Gamera.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here.
Listen to me. Please listen. If you don't, if you won't, if you fail to understand, then the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
Are you ready to enter the sci-fi double feature drive-in? Every month we hold a special double feature with a very interesting theme thought up by your host, the conspiracy-loving Elisa, and yours truly, Jarrett the Kaiju Man Wegelin. We discuss giant monsters, little monsters, genetic abominations, robots gone awry, aliens coming to Earth, cryptids, and anything in between. So join us at the Sci-Fi Double Feature Drive-In podcast every first and third Thursday of the month. And don't forget to stop by our snack bar first.
Hi, I'm Jay Batts.
And I'm Michael.
And we're the hosts of a very thought-provoking show called The What If Podcast. On it, we'll explore the big
and little
what ifs of life and steer our listeners toward a better understanding of the
real or hypothetical
situations we might find ourselves in.
Or not. On our journey, we'll learn interesting facts and fictions about the everyday world. And sometimes,
most of the times,
we'll dive headlong into rabbit holes that slide up against the subject and sharply turn away from it.
Come along with us. We'll have fun and learn something new together. New episodes release every other Tuesday. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Music, and anywhere fine podcasts are archived.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one last plot holes or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy at eilfm.podbean.com.